Hey guys, I'm excited to talk to you guys about GitSpeak. GitSpeak is a new platform that the guys over at Scrimba have developed. And if you're not familiar with Scrimba, Scrimba is a technology that I've loved, and other organizations like Free Code Camp have been putting courses out. It's a screencasting technology that allows you to have video, see where someone's typing, lets you pause and edit the code directly, and on top of that, the file size is about 1/100th of what a normal video would be, with more functionality. It's really phenomenal, and I've built several courses over there, and I've always really liked the guys there, and I've been partnered up with them on various things for about 2 years now, as crazy as it sounds. But they've launched GitSpeak, which is a project management tool for developers, similar to Jira, except with a lot more features and functionality, utilizing that Scrimba technology. And Per is going to go, which is one of the co-founders of Scrimba, is going to go ahead and walk us through the tool, and I'm going to ask some questions while he does it. I was really impressed, but I wanted to share this with you. I want to thank them also for sponsoring this video.
We're rolling.
We're rolling, yeah. Cool. Okay. Shall I just jump into the demo?
Yeah, whatever our conversation is going to be, don't let the fact that we're recording make you do anything different than we were going to do before.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you.
Yeah.
So let's see, and then I'm going to close this down. Yeah. So GitSpeak is basically a tool we're building to try to make it's a project management tool focused on developers, kind of taking all of our efforts towards building this goes into making the developer experience as good as possible in terms of managing projects. And you'll probably recognize some features from other project management tools. Then you'll also see that we've taken kind of the Scrimba technology and implemented, and thus kind of trying to turn it into a better tool for communicating around code. Because that's what we've been trying to do from day one at Scrimba. That's just making it easier to communicate code.
Now, is this also built in Imba, if I remember the language correctly? Excellent.
Yes, it's built in Imba, everything. And that's actually one of our strengths, because as you know, Imba is really, really fast. The DOM reconciliation, it's about more than an order of magnitude faster than, for example, React. So as you can see, like, this is the issues tab, and now I'm going to jump through issues, and you'll notice that, I mean, it's instant basically.
Yeah, and just to elaborate, Imba is more of a language than it is a framework, right?
Yes, it's a language that compiles to JavaScript.
Excellent.
And we can actually have a little look at how the Imba code looks. We're going to show you a little bit of the actual code base. He's been onboarding me onto the GitSpeak code base, and this is how Imba looks. And we've been using GitSpeak to onboard me onto GitSpeak, so it's a little bit meta. But as you can see, it looks a little bit like Ruby. It's a Ruby and Python inspired syntax, and which uses indenting. And it's pretty neat. It looks cleaner than JavaScript, but it compiles to JavaScript, and it's a good developer experience and just really fast. So this is actually a screencast. If I hit play here, you'll I don't think you'll hear my voice because it'll be routed to my AirPods at the moment. But it's a screencast. But anyway, the deal with GitSpeak is that we're trying to, as I said, to just make it a better experience managing projects for the developers. And here's an issue. And let's just create an issue, actually, just because that'll give you a little bit of an impression of the kind of features we're focusing on. So to create an issue, you hit the new button here, and let's say you have an issue, fix API bug. Then you can assign people to it, and you can label it, and let's see, this is a bug, and you can put a status for the board, which I'll show you later, and also a milestone if you're using milestones. And then, as opposed to GitHub, where you basically write in raw markdown, we've built a really neat rich text editor. You can basically do like this. Let's say you have a little to-do list, and let's say we want some to-do items, fix bug, test the code, deploy, like that. And everything is, what you see is what you get, basically.
Now, could you do Markdown or direct HTML in here, or you're...
Yes.
Okay.
So if I do like that, turns into subheading, and if I do the open close square brackets, turn it into a to-do. And actually, if I copy this here and paste it in to, for example, VS Code, you'll see that it gets pasted as Markdown.
Cool.
So it's a really nice way to just, if you need to write README files or documentation, it's a nice little extra feature that you can just write it here. Then I'd do it in the Notes tab, which that's your private notes, and then paste it into your Markdown files. But so here's the cool thing, or one really cool thing at least, which is, let's say that I'm creating this bug, and let's say that I know roughly how to fix it. And I want to tell, like, kind of point the person who are to fix it in the right direction. And that would be hard to do with written text. And it's that basically the tool you have available in other project management tools. But with GitSpeak, you can basically open up your text editor of choice, whatever you use. I'm just going to open up the GitSpeak repo. Don't save. Let's head into, let's say that the problem is in this file here. Oops, I need to copy it. I'm going to copy this. Then when I paste it in, GitSpeak gives me the opportunity to paste it along with the reference. Because we know that as we're working on this repository here, we can search through your source code and look, oh, this code is actually in the repository. So that when I submit this, and some other developer on my team checks out this issue, you can just click that, and he or she is taken instantly into the surroundings of that snippet, making it a lot easier to understand. Ah, okay, so that's where we are.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and actually we can take it a step further, because let's say that it's not that easy to solve this bug. Maybe you have to like reference, maybe you have to touch multiple parts of the code base or change some architecture and stuff like that. Then we can actually, instead of just pasting a snippet, you can create a screencast where you create a cast from local directory. That'll open up the project. And let's head into, let's say that this is where you need to fix it. Or no, let's choose something else here, for example. Then I'll hit the record button. And hey, so in order to fix this bug, you gotta change around on this method here, and you also have to make this DOM node here render in a different way. And of course, don't forget to update this method, blah, blah, blah. You get the point. Stop recording. And now that has turned into an interactive screencast, which I can just paste into a comment. So when the developer checks it out, just opens it and plays it. And right now you won't hear my sound, but I can just scrub through it because I'm routing the sound to my AirPods. But like that's this concept taken a step further.
Now, is that an actual? You said that's injected as a comment. Is there any reason it's not injected into the sort of README file, or is that just an example?
Yeah, so we could do that. We've been thinking about that, how we can kind of embed or like sorry, how we can kind of allow you to change around in your README files and documentation using GitSpeak. And right now, how it works if you want to use it outside of GitSpeak is we can open up GitHub here, and what you'll see is that it's turned into a URL on GitHub. So you could just basically just link to it now from your Markdown files. And if I click this URL, it'll just open up first the website. It should, of course, always get a bug when you're demoing.
Hey, you got the beta tag in there. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah. So it should pop up let me try it one more time because it should work. Maybe it's because I had the other app running as well. Yeah, so it's opening up my Electron app, which I have running in the background. Yeah, so but what happens is that this pops up, basically.
Okay.
So you can use it, yeah. Yeah, so that's the issues. And of course, we also support the issues in the board view, because every project management tool needs that, where you can like move things back and forth, and you can also open the issues here and use the navigations to just navigate quickly through the issues here as well. And just to take it a step further now, what's really cool is also that this feature is obviously really nice to have when you're doing pull requests as well. This kind of interactive feedback, audio-visual interactive feedback. So here in a pull request, you can actually just hit the start review button, and it'll open up the diff or the changes in this pull request. And then I can record on top of that. Like, hey, this is really great job, but you got to remember to blah, 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 do something else. This was probably a bit too simple a pull request for it to be worth doing a recording, but you get the point. Then I can submit it here.
And then you can also leave, you can actually put, hey, I'd refactor it this way and refactor the code like that in there.
Yeah.
It's not just audio.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just audio. It's both audio and every interaction you do. So your mouse cursor is recorded, and you can also jump through the code if you want. And yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning, just for people who maybe not as familiar with Scrimba, is that because these are sort of screencasts that record their audio, oftentimes the video size is significantly smaller.
Yeah. It's like less than 1% of the equivalent video size. Basically.
Yeah, it's which is great, because you never know when you're gonna be somewhere with bad internet. I'll be in my corporate office building, and the Wi-Fi will just all of a sudden go to shit. So
yeah, so we can now let's just scrub through this screencast here. Yeah, it's not that much of a point, but we can scrub through another screencast. Or actually, it could be some sensitive source code here. So let's not do that.
Yeah.
But it goes it's really fast. Like now, this is one you can see it's scrubbing. It doesn't the effect isn't that big now, since I was only moving the cursor. But scrubbing back and forth is just super fast, basically. Yeah, so that was issues and pull requests, and of course we've just pulled the data from GitHub. If that wasn't maybe it wasn't apparent from the start, but that's how it is. We pulled it from GitHub, and everything you do here instantly gets synced with GitHub as well. So when you post a comment, it of course it's posted on GitHub as well.
Cool.
And what's been really nice for us internally in GitSpeak, when Sindre has been onboarding me onto the repository, I think I briefly mentioned it previously, is these costs here. Just having a tab for costs, because what I then can do is I can you can start a new screencast from your local repository, or like from the project, and then I can invite whoever I want, who are a part of the organization, of course. So if I'll invite my colleague, then we can live stream, and we get two cursors. You want to see that now? You get two cursors, and both of us can jump through the code base, and we follow each other, and we record audio from both of us. And having this record button or this record option just enables us to like quickly talk through the code. And if there's something I quite don't understand or don't remember, I can just watch the screencast again tomorrow. And that has been like an epiphany for me, because it's often taken me 5 rewatches until I've really internalized and understood the underlying architecture and functionalities.
Now, when you have multiple people on a screencast, are you limited to being on the same file, or is someone sort of like, you can go on different files, but someone has sort of the master view?
No, it's basically you just follow whoever person takes us to a next file. So it's kind of everybody can take the wheel and jump to another file. And we actually tried with not following each other, and it turns into chaos pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Like, so which file are you on now? Oh, I'm on this one. Okay, so come over to the server file. It's like, it's much easier if you just respect that you don't click around like fanatically. Mm-hmm. You just simply click around when you need to reference something else. So that's what separates this from, for example, VS Code Live Share. Mm. And of course, the fact that we record and you get the audio as well. So that was the cast tab. And we also have, just to mention, the assign tab, just to see which issues that have been assigned to you. And also an activity tab, which just allows you to quickly look at the latest things that has happened in the repository. That is also milestones, but I reckon we don't have to go deep into that. And right now we're only supporting GitHub repositories, but we're gonna open up for Bitbucket and GitLab as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm impressed.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is a great use of Scrimba and the Imba technology, that's for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, actually the notes, I didn't explain that, but that's basically just your own private, my private stuff, where you can write and use the same same formatting options, clear coder, and you can do whatever, like paste code, paste costs, paste contextual snippets, add to-do lists, basically just whatever you want to do. It's nice to have when you're working on a project, place to note down, for example, here's something I've done, how to create tabs, for example, a little bit of documentation just for me, which isn't relevant to put in the repository itself. Mm-hmm. Or just various ideas I have, ideas for improvements and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm actually really glad that you showed this note section, because I do this, except I do it on those little note yellow sort of sticky notes that every sort of desktop app has, and it's not a great experience.
No, not at all. And also this is also just markdown. So when you copy it, if you want to use this later, if you want to write your documentation or something like that, this is probably what you would do. I mentioned you could do that previously when I talked about issues, but in the notes tab, that's probably where you'd want to do that.
Yeah, I also think it's probably a pretty good idea, because a lot of times documentation gets out of date if it's not relevant to you and it's amongst the community. But I feel like if you maintain your own section of notes, you'll know what's broken and it'll be relevant to you. And you can, I'm sure you can go and say, okay, yeah, you know what? I have a note about this. Let me go ahead and share it with you and go from there with it.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I'm curious to ask and hear from you. What kind of features do you? What are you most excited about?
So I think the pull request thing is absolutely excellent. I think being able to go in there and do live screen shares. Not only do I think if you're actually doing good pull requests where you're giving coding examples and you're leaving text, I think. There's always been those passive-aggressive people who do pull requests. And I think part of that is because we're going just through a text medium. But you go ahead and add some audio. You go ahead and you'll get more comprehensive pull requests. I think that is by far a fantastic thing. And being able to on a very similar point say, hey, I don't have this issue for this bug right now. I don't have the time, but it's in these two files. I'm 90% sure that it's right here.
Yeah.
Saves your dev, saves the business money and time.
Yeah, totally. And also, as you said, the dialogue can tend to get a bit harsh. And when you do a pull request, sometimes you're not completely 100% sure that the solution you're suggesting is the best solution. So what you could do is if you get the ability to talk a little bit about it, create a, or sorry, let's open up the start preview. You're able to Let me click down. Yeah, so I did this, and I'm not really sure if we should do onboarding equals 1 or if we should rather have this solved in a different way. But this is my suggestion. You can kind of excuse yourself a little bit, or not necessarily excuse yourself, but just like explain that what you feel really sure about in the code and what you're more uncertain about.
Yeah, and I think that provides a lot of value too, where you're like, hey, this works, but I'm also not completely sure of the code base, and it's my first time working in here, and I can't find anything that's causing any effects. But if anyone knows this code really well, and it is, this is where I think it might blow up.
Totally. Oops. Yeah, so there's so many opportunities, and we're just going to continue working on improving these improving tools for these kinds of situations. Basically, just making it's super pleasant for developers to discuss code, because just like writing detailed about a pull request, it's just like so painful.
Yeah, it gets a little bit of a hassle. There's that passive aggressive nature of it, and I think people are more likely to be constructive when it's their voice and they're not having, like, they have to hear themselves say things instead of just typing it and then, oh yeah, I'm done with it.
Yeah. So if anybody who are watching this are interested in checking it out, you can just go to gitspeak.com and download the app for Mac or Linux or Windows. So we are in beta, so don't expect it to be perfect, but it's open for everybody.
Excellent.
And if you have feedback, we have this little feedback thing where you're taken into the community repository of GitSpeak, and there you can see some people are already giving feedback. Oh, I haven't seen this one. Nice. Yeah. So we'd love to get beta users, basically.
Excellent. Excellent stuff. As always, just really delivering quality stuff to the dev community.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that was about it.
All right, I'm gonna stop the video now.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to check out my 100 Algorithm Challenge course. Get you prepped for those technical interviews to make sure you get nice offers. I actually just added some new content to it so you can get prepared for those technical phone screens as well. There's a link in the description to get it for just $9.99.